I think between the two of them, Feeling has played more as a 5 on the teams he's been on compared to Moonlight, but that's you're splitting hairs at that point, right? Meantime,
Hmm.
interesting ban from 5ManMidas. They take away the Hoodwink, so they're eyeballing this Undying maybe as that sort of 3 instead of the support, as you were sort of mentioning back when it was first picked up.
Yeah, and then, you wonder on 5ManMidas' side what they want to do with this whole Batrider situation because, okay, let's say it's carry Monkey King, it's 5 CM, that's easy. Pigu's playing CM, easy call. If it's a 3 Undying, what carry are we then going to want to pick into that? And Undying is just going to have an absolute field day. I mean, we know how strong he is as an offlaner. Do we pick something that then make him want to play in a different lane? Honestly, at this point, I think the cut might even be too solidified in that, which of course makes you want to punish said Batrider, said Undying, who can't really rotate anymore. But that's where the cut kind of have probably the three strongest laners in the game right now. They have Undying, Batrider, Monkey King cores most likely here, assuming that there is a 4 position left in the pool for B God. And that's where the Hoodwink, yeah, it does make sense. And of course, thinking of B God heroes, you really think of three. You think of Hoodwink, you think of Techies, and you think of Skyreth Mage. Now, whether or not they'd want to do that with an Undying, we'll have to see. Because, I mean, really, the likely candidates are still in the pool here. And I think that's where 5ManMidas, they could decide to split. And they do kind
Hmm.
of split the role that B God could be fulfilling here. But I don't know. It really is a tough call to make.
Well, gonna get an answer one way or another. The Cut have their pick coming up here, so throw a surprise our way.
Hmm,
Okay, that's a yeah,
kind
that's a
of.
little surprising. Not entirely sure what's going down with the Lena pick. We'll just have to wait and see. But now, if you're 5ManMidas, you don't have the luxury of waiting and seeing. You need to try and figure this out right now. But what carry do they feel comfortable with? I like that the Cut tried to take out some of those elusive mobile options with the Slark and the Weaver bands. So if you're 5ManMidas, you're gonna have to go for either damage or durability, and you can't really split the difference.
Yeah, and I really am kind of racking my brain because, of course, with that Lena, and assuming that Lena and Batrider are going to kind of be your chorus here on the cut side, even though even then it feels a little bit strange. Anybody that guys gets Scotty is going to immediately become a more valuable hero. A part of me feels like Luna is not a bad option, just having someone that has just a little bit more magic to play against. But then again, you look at the Undying lane, and I feel like any hero that's going to be just stuck playing versus the zombies, any hero that doesn't have that much attack range is just going to feel threatened and feel so much at risk here. I almost feel or wish that like Drow is a pickable hero here, but that's where the Cuts lineup is so annoying to draft against because you want to pick Drow, but you can't really pick Drow versus Batrider. You'd like to pick something to man fight the Monkey King like an Ursa, but you're playing versus an Undying, so is that really going to be okay enough of a lane for you, especially assuming that this is going to be a B God Lena that's just going to be right clicking you if you decide to play a melee carry? It's a tough role to fill. Not to mention, it is also going to be RRL on it, right? So you kind of have to think for a second here, or rather, sorry, it'll rather be Argus on it. I don't know. Is it going to be one of those blink initiators? Is it going to be? I think the Ursa was the best one. I kind of rounded off, and they go for the
Hey,
Drow, which okay, but Drow versus Batrider, you just can never get found. It's that type of game where you show for a second, you stick yourself out for a moment, and then you're torn apart. And that's a Scourge McDuck and dying. Ladies and
whoa,
gentlemen, that
wait.
is a carry dirge. That is a 4 Monkey King. And that's our offlane Batrider laning directly up versus Argus. Okay.
That
I mean,
that intentional? Nothing in the
oh,
chat, so
100%.
yeah, okay. That is the play that they wanted. Meanwhile, on the 5ManMidas side of things, well, I'm not really sure. With Moonlight sort of slotting in, I think there was a slight shift. We were talking earlier, who plays the 4 and who plays the 5, but it does appear it's just going to be Earthshaker at the 4 and the Venge at the 5, which does mean Lies will play off lane Marana, which I'm not really sure if that's going to be overly effective, but it's the move that they've made, ET. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, it's like it's reactive to the Monkey King, I think, and it's funny because the cut ended up in such a flexible lineup that now it's not even a Monkey King carry. So do they have to do this? Not necessarily. If they wanted to, they could swap things around. But instead of a Monkey King going to that lane, they are just playing versus a safe lane Undying who is looking to be super obnoxious. Not to mention a safe lane Undying that's going to get CM aura. I mean, my heart just hurts. It aches. You do have to be careful, I think, with Scourge. I guess in laning versus that Mirana, it is pretty easy to actually lose your Tombstone, of course, because you just leap, kill it, and then leap back out. But at the same time, the cut kind of steered, I want to say, three-fourths of this draft. I feel like the only thing that they couldn't and they can't preempt for is the Drow Ranger, but even then, I think that they're very confident coming in.
Yeah, they should have the means to cut past that front line and get to the Drow if they need to, so sure if they have to be overly concerned, but well, we said this was going to be interesting, right, ET? And so far through the drafts, it is sure as hell interesting. Will it work? Is it smart? That is for greater Dota minds than us to determine, but at least we're going to get something that should be entertaining.
For sure. And that's something that you can always bank on NA to give you is something's going to happen. But I mean, even being able to switch up the draft to just getting Lena versus DP in mid, I mean, it just feels like the cut kind of knew what they were doing all the way from the start of the pick, even though it definitely got hard. In those types of drafts, you kind of have to make those judgment calls and then hope that you're correct. And I just think the cut guessed right pretty much everywhere. And now they do have to do this kind of annoying situation with B-God where you are playing kind of not the best hero anymore at this role, but at the same time, you're just obnoxious. You're just going to trail around that Drow pretty much the entire game and really try to slow her down farm-wise.
Yeah, the days of players like Bobica and Matthew getting away with the pause for Monkey King and just sort of kind of clowning on people, that doesn't really happen anymore. Now you're just more about information and harassment as opposed to actually punishing anyone for anything, really. But hey, information is good. Arceus is not a mobile hero. He's a hero that if he gets picked off a couple of times, his farming rate is going to look pretty terrible. So, see what they can do is Nick is going to kick a balloon over the wall. Not really going to matter too much as, okay, B-God's going to try to contest, and he actually did get it. Okay, all 4 bounties, and not enough of a response there. They didn't want to chase it any further, so the cut did everything.
And does immediately get dewarded, which feels pretty good if you're feeling, but at the same time, these early levels, you can just kind of go for those crazy plays and then walk it out. It's where Frost Arrows really aren't worth it all too much at level 1, harass-wise. Kind of annoying to play against, and okay, recast that Sentry just in case, but no Sentry on B-God. It's going to be a matter of whether or not they can just continuously get the pulls off. Honestly, on both sides. You can't really afford either the small or the large to get stacked. Otherwise, the Batrider and the Drow both start to suffer pretty quickly.
See what B-God can do. Primal Spring in there. Not really connecting on much, but this is the role. This is the job for B-God. Be annoying. Get in there. Don't overextend. Maybe snipe a courier. Nope. That attack range long enough to get the job done, so Feeling will lose his, and here you go. The harassment, the annoying Monkey King game has already begun.
Yeah, and really all he needs to do is make sure that Nick isn't getting a 9 on the ranged creeps, and then he is absolutely fine. But that's where this lane is incredibly hard to kill in until they're level 2, even level 3, I'd say. Just isn't enough damage from any of your spells just yet.
I would assume B-God would really want or even need the Boundless for them to really do much of anything. In the meantime, ET, how in the hell does a position 1 Undying lane?
Well, main
Wow.
and that actually would have been the kill there, I think, if Moonlight didn't do that, but that's where, unfortunately, your hero is just way too efficient. You can see the damage. Scourge is almost, I think, 20 up on the Mirana, and even just the harassment out. Level 1 Decay is just too efficient. It just works for way too long. It's why this hero is in the pick order that he is in right now. I mean, you can see the Knives, they're going to start trailing, and actually,
Ooh.
solo kill. I
Okay.
think you got him.
Very dangerous game that Rana's playing there, right? Low HP, didn't back off. Pingu, I mean, no one's going to punish him for that, right? Moonlight does not really want to spam out any mana for Fissure, so why not take the chance? Nobody's going to come and really punish you for it, and that's first blood over to the cut as Moonlight He's trying to play forward now, but just not really sure. Even if they get something like a fissure into an arrow, there just isn't enough damage to do anything to Scourge. You'd be hoping in the best case scenario to just kill off the Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, and especially once Scourge hits level 3, and I know
Okay.
watching him, he's doing a good job. Entire reason he does that is just to have the possibility of denying, and in doing so, he gets another spell out of the Shaker, which is very annoying to deal with, but that Decay is just an insane spell. I don't know, all the buffs that received all at once makes it just this monster of a tool that he can't do much about. Now, what he goes for, it's probably just going to be what I imagine is Phase Boots Echo Saber into a BKB and then the Ag Shard, but that's talking in the future. There's still a lot of farm that needs to be done as bot lane. Oof.
Killing low, but he was able to pop the wand. Turns around for the armor reduction too, and Argus is doing a nice little bit of damage here, but this is always the problem with the Drow. You have an ability that slows inherently, and yet you don't ever really feel comfortable chasing anyone. Although, if Feeling's going to lead the
Ooh.
charge, not much of a chase. That's just a bit of a freebie, and now Nick is in a bad spot here. He does have a Fairy Fire. Maybe he just goes for the kill onto Feeling. I think that's the play for him, but he's not going to get it. Oh, that one's going to hurt. That's a double kill for the Drow, and Feeling's just going to deny.
Okay, actually, Biga got the XP there, so
Yeah.
kind of nice for the Monkey King. He would have wanted to refill Nico's bottle, but he's got the XP, so it ends up being kind of worth it for him, but still, not what they wanted initially, though, and that's just kind of the power spike of the Venge being level 3 pretty early on here, even though Argus is already
Okay.
back under threat, and he forces the Venge into that same difficult position where he wants to refill the mid's bottle, but doesn't have time for it. But a nice TP.
Argus, I don't know about that one. He goes forward for 1 or 2 extra hits. B-God does still hit pretty hard, even though he's not a core. But Nick, why is he turning around? This is getting very complicated, but there's going to be the bait in. The Gust pushes him back, though, but it doesn't stop Nick from getting the damage. So they do take down Argus. There's a trade both in this lane and elsewhere on the map as Scourge was able to take down Moonlight, but B-God, can he get one more hit in here? I don't think he catches up. No, he doesn't.
No, just barely, and really a much worse trade for Nick. Even though you do get the kill, the Drow just simply TPs back up here, and they're actually bringing the Shaker as well, which is a little bit odd because they should know that the Batrider is not going to be here for another 20 seconds. So unless this is really just Moonlight staking his feet into the ground, saying that he wants to be at the bottom rune just for 6 minutes, it's an odd rotation for sure.
Drops the ward down, so they have vision in that triangle, and yeah, they are going to be able to contest the rune, but like you said, the rotation's a little weird, and now they're trying to get behind Nico, and it's kind of awkward because this was spotted out, but Nico didn't fall back, so he might still be in trouble. There's the stun out from Feeling. Moonlight will be traded, but they don't care about that, and that was just so strange. B-God was trailing behind them. I thought that they sort of saw this maneuver coming, as they at least turned it into a 2-for-1, getting a second support kill. But now RRL is tracking. He's got 2 points up in the Crypt Swarm, so he should finish B-God for the double, and yeah, that just... every part of that felt weird.
Yeah, felt pretty slow from the Lena. Felt even weirder that the Shaker took that long to make the stun happen. I feel like a cleaner kill results in them both probably making the retreat happen, but hey, what can you do? And with all the supports dragged out of that top lane, you also just put the Mirana in an absolutely hopeless situation. If it was pretty bad before, with 2 heroes getting decayed, this is pretty much just as bad. You just can't last hit versus the Undying at this point.
Back down bot, Argus. Yep, that's what's going to happen. You leave him alone for too long, B-God and Nick realize nobody's coming. We've got a 2v1. They find the kill, and it's a nice pickup for them. We mentioned earlier on that Drow, a hero where if you take too many deaths in the early stages, it's not just a, okay, fall back to the jungle and start free farming. She doesn't really have too much, unless, I guess, what, just max out multi-shot and try and use that, but that's not the best plan in the world either.
Again, and even so, I'm realizing an even bigger mistake. He tried to TP out of that initially,
Oh.
so he is walking back to his tower, which is never a good feeling, especially because if you get to hit level 6 right now on Nick, well, you could just immediately go for the kill with Lasso. It's where I feel like almost as soon as the Drow ends up back bottom, you might just look to TP top. which of course then robs the lane away from your Mirana, who is just finally recovering. As mid,
Hmm.
what a solo kill. Just simply too low, playing around his raindrops. His raindrops get expired at the perfect time, and Nico gets what I think is his 5th solo kill of the tournament.
Now feeling I think is going to drop here as well. They even get the stun onto Moonlight. This is getting really awkward. Sentry thrown down, so the Moonlight Shadow doesn't help Moonlight the hero, the player rather, and well, 3 dead across the map. That sucks. If you're 5ManMidas, you just get solo picked mid, the supports make a good rotation, and now RRL is back to try and defend this tower, but it's just not a fun spot for him. Although, speaking of not fun spots, Nick, it's a little bit too far forward here. He doesn't have anyone to back him up. That's just way too much. Trying to get some damage on the tower, I suppose, but heroes were coming back up. He gets caught. Argius gets a little bit of revenge, and now with those 2 supports smoking and heading towards mid, maybe they can catch someone.
Yeah, they want to find, they know that there's somebody else here. If they place the ward on the high ground, they'll see the monkey. They need to figure out a way to cut the tree, though, and they can't do it. Bigot's still going to get trailed down here, but I feel like the LSA might be there, but not enough to save his teammate. But again?
Laguna is there. And there it is. They find
Okay.
the trade. God will sacrifice his life for it, but that's going to be worth it. Especially if they can get another one. LSA coming in to stun up Moonlight, so sure, he can use the totem to lock down Pingu. So, there we go. Okay. Oh, for just the briefest of moments there, I thought maybe he denies, but not going to happen. Nico cleans it up. 3-1 now on the Lina, and Cutter already starting to go to work. Talked about it in the draft. They've been leaning more and more heavily towards heroes that give them control of the pace of play, and they're starting to push that tempo forward a bit. And 5ManMidas, with their lineup right now, they're not ready to deal with this. Look at Argus. Can't get through the camp fast enough to back off in time. He has to stay and try to find the farm, so that means he's just sitting here as 3 heroes come looking for him, and gets punished.
And both supports are level 6 pre 10 minutes into this game. It's kind of insane, actually. The rotations just have been working, and it's rotations that have to work because you've been giving all of this soul XP and the soul farm to Scourge, who has just been doing his own thing. But 63 and 27, he is absolutely fine. He is raring to go. And even though you're getting a trade going top, and Pingu just put himself in
Yeah.
a real tight spot, but we'll see how long he can hide here. This is where if a courier just goes over, you're just so dead.
Middle lane. Got Argus again. He tried to get out of the jungle, just looking for farm anywhere he could. Is there another Laguna? Yes, there is. It's not enough for the kill, though. Oh, they put their shades on and walked away, trying to look cool for the montage, but you forgot to actually finish the kill, boys. B-God gets punished for it. Laguna is down. Pingu, he waited until it was only RRL there, but he doesn't have the damage to actually find the kill, and now he may end up falling too, so that's kind of awkward. Both of your supports, who were just talking up how well they had been playing, and both of them get a little overconfident.
No, yeah, they just get the punch, and I think the reason that Nico doesn't stick around for that kill, even though it's 19 HP, is just the fear of that Shaker TP in, and you do have to be careful, because Nico TP's back out top, and well, he's about to run into Swap.
Swap, stun, silence, follow-up stun. Nico's still running. There we go. Okay, Feeling says no, no, no. Absolutely no way we let you get away with that. They will find the kill. That's a big one, and now could there be a response, though? Look at Scourge. Never mind. Don't look at Scourge. He's not doing anything. Your own business. Argus lives to see another day, but where's his net worth sitting at right? 4,400? That's... Honestly, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. I think the kill's sort of helping to balance out things so far, but they really would love to just let him sit somewhere and stay safe instead of constantly having to worry for his life.
Yeah, and at the same time, getting dewarded a little bit, getting pushed around. I think he's absolutely fine, though. And the Hunt Squad, back again, they're looking at Argus right now. They need to cut some trees here, but will they be able to get the lasso? Nope.
Oh.
Too fast.
Oh, okay, yeah. Doesn't take long to get the gust out there. Fast cast point saves his life, and now the Cutter's still here. Do they know how many? Yes, they do. They have sentries, so they should know that those heroes just walked by.
Well, watch the Lina. They have to be baiting her a little bit hard, but at the same time, they got to be quick.
This
Oh,
is
and here's
not
the
very
tomb.
quick. This is the opposite of quick. This is getting stuck as RRL is going to get taken down right away. Tombstone thrown into the fight. Moonlight tries to jump in with Yeko. It's nicely placed, but the damage isn't really enough, although Scourge starting to drop. He's got a wand, though. He will be able to pop it, but he actually has no point in the Soul Rip, so he wasn't able to heal himself, and turns this fight into a bit of an awkward affair. Nico, though, comes in with the Laguna to secure another pick, and that will swing it into a 3-for-2 in their favor. They would love a 4-for-2, though, as they got eyes on Moonlight. They'll stun him up before he can turn around for the fissure. He does still get it out, but yeah, the DOT is there. Nick finishes the job, and it's a weird fight, ET, but it's one that the Cut are going to be happy with.
Yeah, the DP just traveled a little bit too far in front of his teammates. They did a fine job of killing that tomb really as fast as it went down. The nice thing about having heroes like the Venge and the Mirana, there's fast projectiles and the leap attack speed, but then, yeah, the fight just gets a little bit too big too quickly. And honestly, unfortunately for Moonlight, I think the tomb ended up getting killed as soon as he went for the Echo. So instead of being a 16-unit Echo Slam, it ended up being a 3-unit Echo Slam, which still stunned up everybody, but certainly did a whole lot less damage, which made that Scourge kill a whole lot closer than I think they were expecting, which resulted in everybody just having to basically die to make sure that kill happened.
Also, I did point it out in the fight itself, but for Scourge, not even 1 point in the Soul Rip. Man just does not care. Maxed out Tombstone and Decay still allowed him to do just a stupid amount of damage, a lot of control in that fight, but if he has a point in it, if he's level 10, then, you know, maybe he actually lives through that. But as it stands, his teammate's still looking for an engagement. Argius going to be able to get himself out of the Wukong's command. His teammate, though, not as fortunate. Feeling gets taken down. Nick is going to have to avoid these ghosts. They are kind of dropping him a bit, but we'll walk away. Walk away. Lies is standing directly under B-God, so they are going to try and jump in onto him. Now Pingu comes in with the ult. That's just too much. Way too much for 5ManMidas to handle. They get split up. If they could have focused one of those engagements, maybe they can do it, ET, but with the split focus, they're just taken down.
Yeah, and then just the DD rune. That was EXO as well, so not great stuff here in Argius.
Oh, that's a
He's
problem.
got Tomb.
Tombstone down. There's going to be the Boundless Strike. They need a little more damage, and they've got it. And now Feeling, he just TP'd in here, and yeah, he's dead. Scourge picks up the double. They're going to turn their attention back to the tier 2, and 5ManMidas at this point just can't really seem to catch a break. The 4th death now for this Drow, and he is well behind all of the cores on the Cut side.
Yeah, no, it's not looking pretty. It's not feeling pretty either. And even though you could be going for the Ag Shard on that Undying, instead they're just focusing hard on having all of their BKBs at pretty much the same time. Another thing that the Cut have done so well in this tournament compared to, I think, some previous iterations of the lineup where just everything is meshing. Everything is syncing up together so nicely. And look again mid. Argus is just finding zero farm. There has not been anywhere. They've been fighting in this mid area for what feels like ages, but with you fighting on your side of the river, never have we ever seen them take a pass at that mid tower. They've never been able to take it away with the Exorcism, and I feel like we're going to be level 12 pretty soon here on RRL, and maybe we just give up on the mid tower and instead go for Roche, as Nick gets a soul kill top, just killing the Shaker, trying to get any type of farm, trying to get his Blink Dagger.
Just the most casual kill I think we've seen in the game so far. Didn't even think about the lasso. He got stunned up twice, and he just kept on chasing because he knew that he had the move speed to outrun that Shaker. So Nick was not in any danger. He knew the position of really the entirety of the rest of 5ManMidas too. I think that's part of the problem here for 5Man. It's not just that they're getting pushed back like this, it's that they're pushed back in a position where the Cut almost know their exact location at all times. Speaking of which, RL stunned up, rooted in place, Tombstone down. Yeah. Arrow hits Scourge, so, you know, adding the stats maybe on the stun time, but not much more than that.
No, not very much indeed, and looking back up mid, they missed all of the sentries, all of the wards. They're just going to start getting run at here. They might even need to swap him out. Kind of feels like it, but the Venge is just sitting on top of him, and they'll see the Venge now. It's a little bit scary, but
sentries in the
Pingu's
lane,
here.
too. Yeah, they've got the vision. They're going to go. Leaps do get him out. Pingu, though, look at the man. He doesn't care. Just channels his ult. How long can I get on the duration? Long enough to kill Feeling. Lies is not going to die to this DOT, pretty sure. Oh, well, you know, that changes things. Another stack of napalm comes in, amplifies the damage, and oh boy, if you're 5ManMidas, you've got to try something. Group up, take a smoke. I don't really know, but they can't afford to keep getting picked off solo like this.
You know, they're not getting that seamless team fight in. I think right now the only thing they can do is sit behind Moonlight, let him get his blank dagger, and then maybe get a play going.
Okay.
This is a freebie though. They get the Monkey King, cut the tree. They had the vision of him just leaping up there, so something to perhaps play around. But gotta be scared with those boots of travels up. If you need to bring the Lena down towards bottom, they totally can. As well as now you have the BKB on the Undying. They're never gonna give up this high ground vision anymore. And Moonlight, again, this is your guy just trying to get Blink.
Rooted up, dropped low. Even the
Oh,
lasso to make
no.
sure he didn't pop his ult. That's targeted as all hell, but it works. Moonlight falls, RL will die. And little Nick, I mean, I like that, right? Other players could get a little greedy and say, hey, let's use the lasso on the DP, because we already got this kill secured, and then he pops ult and you look...
Oh, no,
Oh,
Arceus.
no, come on. Okay, he stays on his own side of the wall, but that may not matter. No, it doesn't.
Wow.
Nico just goes in anyway. And the Laguna finishes the job. This is getting into... This is well into dangerous territory.
I'm talking about playing with the lead, right? All three of those kills are purely off of the fact that we have BKBs and you don't. We can just pop it, become spell immune, dive your tier 3s, and look at Moonlight. He's just trying to farm. He's gonna get something off. No! The Tumbler's toy. He will let him walk away, but Moonlight is just barely dead trying to get his Blink Dagger now. It is coming on the courier. This has to be your smoke from 5ManMidas, and something good needs to come of it. Otherwise, the ball just will not stop rolling here. Unfortunately, there are 2 BKBs on the cores coming up in another 20 seconds here. They would love to find the Lena just farming in her own jungle, but that's where the cut, very wisely, they start backing off, and if they only get Pingu, that's step 1. Still smoked on the Shaker, but the rest of your heroes got it spent.
Well, do they even continue looking at this point? That smoke's already starting to run out of time. It's like Feeling is just trying to sort of get some of these wards down, so... You wanted the fight, you wanted Moonlight's jump, but can't find it. At least you can secure some more space in this jungle, because the Drow still needs a lot of space and a lot of time.
Yep, and now we're back in that reset territory, and Arceus is looking just immediately for the BKB. I think he's very aware of the type of game that he's in as well, but problem being, of course, you pick Drow. One thing that Drow hates is getting outranged and beat up, and it's exactly what this lead is getting ready for, as Gust almost lands on the B-God bottom, but simply walks away from it. I do wonder when the cut say to themselves that we're strong enough to just immediately get the Aegis. You get an Aegis on this Lena, I really don't know how you execute that type of team fight from 5-man. Not to mention, he's got a DD bottled as well. It could be time pretty soon here for them to just force the issue.
See the TP mid out from Nico, so as you said, this may just be their moment. Multiple things going down in that middle lane that the smoke will pop, and actually both teams smoked at the same time, so we've got some competing... Oh, Arceus.
Oh, no.
That's a problem. The lasso is going to be there, and there's no save. They have no defensive capabilities. Moonlight's going to do his best with the ult. It's well placed, but again, the damage is not enough. Arceus and Moonlight are both already dead, and here comes Big Bad Scourge marching forward with the Flesh Golem. And there's going to be the dust as well, so the Moonlight Shadow cannot protect. That's a nice swap. It's just not enough distance, which honestly kind of makes it a not nice swap, but I was trying to be nice. They will lose 4, however, and the cut might as well just march into the Roche Pit at this point.
Yep, and there's not much you can do to defend this. I do think they need the Lena, though. Nico's getting a little bit greedy by getting the tier 2 first, but at the same time, you've got the Ag Shard and you got a little bit of your Flesh Golem left, so you're covered in zombies. What a horrible death, honestly, for Roche, but Nico is the one to inevitably take the Aegis. That's why he needed to be here. He has it now. He's got a Grove Bow as well and a Regen Rune, so now he doesn't even need to go back to base. So see you later, 5ManMidas' towers, because this entire top area is about to get cleaned up now.
And at this point, if you're 5-man, this isn't even can we contest them. It's just a non-starter. They really can't afford to try. They need their ults. well, back online before they really look to do anything. So they're just gonna have to sit here and sit here and wait is what I was gonna say. Is feeling that's a very aggressive swap, and if they get Nico's first life, you look like a genius, but well, he doesn't look like a genius. Nico walks away, feeling's dead, and I like that they take that chance, I suppose, ET. It's just they needed flawless execution to even have a shot at picking that up.
No, yeah, I 100% agree. And okay,
Okay.
well played from Moonlight. They're fiending on the supports. They do with
They lost
Arceus again
Argus,
on the
though.
other side, but and they kill B-God. You can't get in the fight, though. RL's getting bodied by Nick, and there's a lasso in one. Oh, don't let him get captured.
There it is. Lasso is going to pull him up to the high ground. He's inside the Wukong's command ring as well, so if it had just been feeling trying to get aggressive onto Nico, then sure, we let it go. Good attempt, but you don't get it. Then they lose 3 more heroes across the map, ET, and it just looks like 5ManMidas' decision-making was a little subpar.
It just continues to be tough. B-God has a diffusal, you know? Why
What?
not?
Okay.
I mean, that's the funny thing, right? With Monkey 4, like, we're kind of not used to it at this point, but that's what you used to do. You used to just buy anything. You get a little bit of gold, you know? Maybe you're a carry, maybe buy an Echo Saber, maybe buy a Deso. Why not? Just bring it all the way back, because you really can do anything at this point if you're the cut. There's another
Ooh,
smoke up.
Nico's
Unfortunately, the
standing on a
Aegis...
sentry, though, so they know.
Whoa!
Argus. They have to keep him alive. They'll burn through the first life. Are they in a position to do anything more, though? B-God's kind of flying his way through. Yeah, he's just going to be a distraction. But distraction? He's actually just going in for the kill, yeah. Who gives a damn about distracting them? Let's just kill him. It's not a bad plan as Argus goes down. Moonlight now in trouble as well. They do get the swap, though, and this is the second life, so if they can kill the Lina... But Scourge comes in, gets the heal with the maxed out Soul Rip. That's a Pingu ult just going for days and days. And RRL will fall. Feeling bought back, but he already used the swap, so there's not a whole lot left for him to do. And this feels like the Cut's moment to really just kind of put this one away.
Yeah, they're gonna push in, and sure, maybe they're not the best pushers in the world, but they're definitely the best killers in the world. They got a blink dagger on Undying as well, and you are fountain camped.
Gonna live, so there's your good news, but he needs some time to heal up. New creep wave is in from the side of the Cut, and they're just gonna push onto the tier 3s again, but 5ManMidas, well, I don't know what the point of the smoke was. They're not that sneaky, and yeah, Argus... He's okay, he's not dead yet, but here comes the Wukong's command. There's going to be the knockback from the flame break, and I said yet, but he does still die, and now I really don't quite understand that smoke play. They did not take the Cut by surprise in the slightest. Now they're pushed back. Can't even defend their tower.
Now watch it.
Pingu
will have an Echo, but...
Okay. Good damage. Finding the kill onto Scourge. Pingu should be dying here as well. Oh my god. Alright, hey. Welcome to the game, Moonlight. Glad you could make it. They didn't get Nico, though, and this might be where things get a little bit awkward as Nick... Speaking of awkward, he just dove all the way in. He does get the kill. Can he TP out? No, he can't, and this is big for 5Man. This... I'm not going to say a game changer. That's maybe hyping it up a little bit too much, ET, but that's the single best fight I think we've seen from them in this game.
It's sad that Arceus doesn't get a lick of it, but but Moonlight is having a great time now. That was the game-saving play. They got him in the creep wave. That was probably a 12 or 13 unit Echo Slam, which is why they just absolutely melted. But I think that's also where the Cut were just like, yeah, just give us the racks. We expect you to GG. It's where you just keep on killing your opponents, that you do give them that opportunity just because you feel like there's nothing that they can do against you. And that's just step one. They still got racks as well. So, you know, we just crossed the street. We haven't gotten ourselves out of the woods just yet, but that's where we got to keep these plays going. Getting this mid tower would be huge, but that's where they also need to be ready to play versus 4 of the 5 people on the Cut that have just respawned. I cannot imagine they want to give up this tower lightly.
Pingu's trying to just sort of get it started. There's the glyph. You're not really in a position, though, to do this. Scourge is... He's nearby.
They're being very patient.
Just gotta let it go. B-God is in the river. Eh. Oh my god. Scouting. They actually saw him for a second, so... They tried. Not going to be able to pull it off, but here comes the smoke. Nico's a little late to it, so um, just maybe the trailer here. No, he's got his own invis, right? Popping his Silver Edge, and they're going to push their way forward right into the smoke of 5ManMidas, and here comes Nick, here comes Scourge, pushing their way forward. BKB's active, Heroes dropping low, feeling already dead. Lie's now in trouble as well to get the lasso onto RRL, and this fight is over. And so is the game. GG called.
Yeah.
Ow. One fell
Well,
swoop.
you know, as we typically like to say in Dota, what's one of the best ways to win? Just win all 3 lanes. Done. Easy. And I don't even feel as if they necessarily won all 3 lanes. They just had the 3 strongest laners in the game, and we also can thank 5ManMidas, at least for one thing here. Thank you for showing us why Undying is not allowed. And now coming into game 2, that hero will be banned.
Yeah.
We will not see that hero again. I can only imagine. I'm also surprised again, no hero or no team even going for that Faceless Void in the first phase. Feel like that ended up being a pretty sizable mistake for 5ManMidas. I think coming into the game 2, they will have pick priority, so fingers crossed we get a little bit more convincing of a draft, but that's also where I also think the cut are just on fire right now. They just have 2-0'd every other NA team they've gone up against. They've 1-1 every SA team they've played against. I think this team's on fire.
With that victory, their record now sits at, I believe, 5-2. So not quite in the position to catch up to Ravens just yet, but they're in a clear-cut second place. And as you said, just playing some of the best Dota we've seen from them in quite some time here. So strong start. Let's see if they can close it out, right? They need one more. They got the first win. Now they want the clean sweep. So we are going to be stepping away for just a little bit. When we come back, we'll see if the cut get the 2-0 or if 5ManMidas can come back with a better draft for that second game. So stick around, and we'll be right back.